One of the questions that comes up the most frequently on my YouTube channel has to do with how I'm able to make game videos off the iPad and record those and do narration. And so I'm going to go over those things today. It's a very simple method and doesn't cost anything to get started, so anyone that wants to try it out can go for it. The first step is getting Air Server. There are a couple routes to try to get your actual screen up onto a computer so that you can record it, and the best one that I've found is Air Server. They're very straightforward. I think they were initially developed for Mac, but they have gone for PC as well. And there's only one main drawback. If you're working on a Mac, you can do first you do the mirroring, which is taking the screen from your device, either a phone or your iPad, and you can mirror it onto your screen on your computer. And we'll see what that looks like here in just a minute. If you're using it with a Mac, you can also record your voice simultaneously. And currently you can't do that with the PC, so you have to find another way to record your voice, and we'll talk about how to do that without any cost either. So this is the first step. Go ahead and get Air Server. There's a trial version that you can get. If you go to download, you can do the 7-day trial for free. Recommend doing that. And then you can see the prices for their other options. I did, when I started out, I like to minimize any risk when trying these things as well, so I went with the 7-day trial. It worked out really well, and I did go ahead and buy a license. You can see it's not all that expensive anyway. The next step, if you are a Windows user, the next step is to get some way to record your voice. And for me, that route was going with Windows Movie Maker. So you can download Windows Movie Maker as well. Go online. It's part of the Live Essentials group of software. And so you can go ahead and download that as well. And that really gives you two benefits. One, you can do recording, and we're going to look at it again in a second. Recording of audio. Two, it also allows you to do video editing, and it is lighter than some of the more costly commercial software pieces that are available. Softwares like Camtasia and Snagit, and there's a whole list of them. There are lots of YouTube videos that compare those various softwares. But Windows Movie Maker is free, and it's not a trial or anything. It's just an add-on to the Windows software suite in general, and that's a great benefit. So you do the 7-day trial, and you go with Windows Movie Maker, and you can start making movies with no cost. Alright, so once you've got Air Server installed on your computer, you go ahead and run it. And usually it just runs down here. You'll see it on your bar here at the bottom. It's running in the background. You don't need to do anything else with it. So I'm going to say remind me later for this update, and it's running. The next thing you're going to do is go to your device. If you're on an iPad, I believe it works similarly on an iPhone. You swipe up from the bottom, and you'll see a little gray box. A lot of times you have to swipe up quite a few times to get it to come up. It's not super sensitive. And you'll see a little box at the bottom in the middle. And after I turn this on, you'll be able to see it. And here it goes. So now you can actually take a look. This is the box I'm talking about. I've just turned on AirPlay. So here's the box, the lower middle section. It says CER-N right now. That's just selecting the device that I'm mirroring. That's like the computer name that I'm mirroring this screen to. So that's what you're going to do. You can turn the mirroring on and off. You can select a different device. And then from here, it's very easy to select which game or any other application you want to mirror to your computer. And the next step, you can see my mouse here. I would right-click, go to iPad, and go to record. And if I click this, then I would be recording the video for anything that I'm doing on the iPad. I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now, but that's how the process works. If you're having trouble, if you don't have Air Server installed, you won't see this lower box, and that can be a problem. So the things that I found generally to fix this: make sure your computer has all the latest Windows updates. That's going to help you with other steps as well. and then make sure there's nothing else running that would get in the way, because what you're doing is interacting with your wireless router, and so you don't want to have any other, if there's a firewall issue or anything else. There's lots of forum work that's been done. People have come up with any issues and found solutions for those, so that can be an initial trouble, but you'll get that out of the way. Next, once you've recorded it, you're going to go into Windows Movie Maker. Or actually, taking one step back, the way I do this, so that I can do simultaneous video and audio, is I'll go to the Movie Maker software, which is right here. I've got a video and then narration below it. And what I do is open up a little test file. So if I delete these, I can go to add a video or file, and you can put anything in here. So this is some work that I've done in the past. I've got a little test video. So it's just a video with no audio chunk attached to it. And then I can click record narration. And if I do this and click record right now, then I can go over to Air Server software and click record on this one, and then I have the audio recording, and at the same time I'm recording the video. Now there will be a slight delay in them, but that's very easily fixed here. Let's go ahead and just show what that looks like. So now I'm recording audio as well. There's not going to be a whole lot because it's just that short video. I'm going to go ahead and hit stop. I could save it as anything. We'll just put it in here as test. Okay, so that's here. Now if I click on this and go to the narration tools, I can move around using the start point. I can move this back by 5 seconds, or move it forward and back with any down to fairly high resolution, and I can line that up with the video. So if I start this recording 5 seconds earlier than I start the recording of the video, or 4.5 seconds, or whatever that interval is, I can go ahead and just take it off right there. It's very easy to work with. You can also chop up your video, take sections out. If you start making something and then stumble over your words and you don't want to include that part, you can very easily go to the video, hit split, especially if I had a longer piece of video I was looking at here, but you can go, you've got to be in the video tools here. You'll hit split, it splits up your video, and if you keep this black line that shows where you're currently at within the video, you can hit split on the narration as well, and then chop out any pieces you don't want. So say we only wanted that first piece. We can chop it out, and that's fine. So you can imagine with a much larger video, the steps are the same, it's still very easy to use, and there aren't any troubles. So doing that, you can get started making videos without any cost, and then as you continue getting past that 7 days, if you've already got something out there and you're enjoying it, and you're making something and getting some positive feedback, then just go ahead and put the small cost into Air Server, and you can continue on from there. So that's it. It really doesn't take that much. There's a few other things you can get into. When you have a video, you can go to the Home tab here and click Snapshot, and you can take a picture of any piece of the video and use that and kind of clean it up and use it as the thumbnail image for your video before you upload that to YouTube. I think that really helps a lot of times to clearly present what your video is about, and the ones that they automatically come up with as you upload a video aren't always very useful. So doing that adds a little bit more value there. Again, there's a lot of things that you could go into to do more work if you wanted to use the higher end software, but as a starting out place, this has worked really well for me. I think you can produce quality content without too much trouble and with very little cost, very little investment, very little risk. So I hope this helped. Let me know if you have any other questions, and we'll try to make some videos and go over them. Thanks again.